Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Terrifying Tuesday on this channel where we talk about all things horror. And today I thought we would talk about a few Scream 7 theories that I heard that I thought were very interesting. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so you may have noticed we're not in our usual filming spot, and that's fine because we just got all the Christmas stuff situated, and I'm sort of putting together a little Christmas theme in our studio, so that should be done by next week. And it will also coincide with the return of Miko because he'll be done with all of his medication then, so you'll get to see his cute little face all over again. Now, I thought that this video would be a fun one to do. I don't normally read Game Rant articles. However, I came across this one and thought it was really unique. It was talking about a Reddit theory about what would make Scream 7 different. And if you know anything about Scream 7, you know that the claims have already begun that Ghostface will be different this time. And that's sort of the claim every time, that they're going to have a completely different Ghostface. And in all actuality, we haven't seen a true difference in Ghostface, an actual true difference, since Roman. And then Roman don't get the props that he deserves because the people in the movies always want to complete the movie that Billy Loomis and Stu Macher were doing. So Roman just don't get that kind of attention. And the last movie, Scream 6, you can argue that having an entire family going around doing this was unique, but the motive was still kind of the same. So what would make Ghostface different? Well, according to some Redditors, they have a way. And I thought this was interesting because sure, this might not come true. In fact, the probability of these two theories happening that we're going to discuss, well, it's technically 3, but if these theories actually come true, it would be a miracle. But then again, we've seen scoopers be right about Scream before. We've seen actual Reddit users be right about Scream before. If you talk to certain fans, they know who every single killer is in every single movie before the movie ever even comes out. And it is fun to theorize. So I thought we would take a couple of these theories that Game Rant ran with and look at them. The first one we're going to look at comes from @little_interview5263. And he writes, what if it's two ghost faces working against each other, like the murders are collateral damage for some vendetta the killers have against each other? Now, this is why I said technically it's 3, because there was another person that sort of added on to this. And this is from Redditor Messy Mop. They added to the discussion saying, I am surprised they never did two ghost faces who were genuinely in love. That mad love thing would have been fun. In both 4 and 5, Jill and Richie, respectively, are using Charlie and Amber's feelings against them. I want a pair that genuinely can't get enough of each other. Now, technically those sound like 2 different theories, but adding on to what he said about a rival set of ghost faces and everybody being collateral damage, yeah. So let's break them down separately. So the first part, what if there's 2 ghost faces that are pitted against each other and you have this whole rival thing going on and the victims are all just collateral damage for whatever motive they have? This sounds cool. This sounds cool because that hasn't been done before. You haven't seen 2 Ghostface killers go after each other. It's always been a team up. That would actually be unique. And not to mention, you can't pit Ghostface against Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees. So when you can't pit them against those types of characters, what are you going to do? You have to actually look at it logically and decide what you want to do to make this unique. pitting two killers against each other is a unique thing. That whole versus saga from the classic movie Monsters worked well for a reason. And people still like Jason versus Freddy, even though it's one of those films that oftentimes gets criticized. It is still one that a lot of fans enjoy because of that whole versus situation. So taking two Ghostface killers and pitting them against each other could be interesting, because this means that the final girl doesn't necessarily have to take out both of them. Or maybe at the end they kind of come together and determine that the way to get over their whole rival situation is to just outright kill Sidney Prescott. So then they go to do that, and of course, Sidney Prescott, or whoever the new final girl is, takes them out. That would actually be pretty cool. I would be 1,000% down for that to happen. But the thing of it is, if you're looking at it from that situation, from that type of thing, you also have to think about the other part where Messy Mop added to the discussion, saying, why can't they be in love? This would be 1,000% unique. It would be something we've never seen in the Scream franchise before. It would be actually pretty cool. It's something that would add a lot to the situation, because if you're looking at a Joker and Harley Quinn-esque situation, yeah, it could be sort of violent. It could be that they're fighting against each other for whatever reason. And then at the end, that would explain why they came together, because they can't actually live without each other. So they come together to sort of finish the job, if you will. Get rid of the main final girl. That would be something that hasn't been done, that would be really unique to do and really cool to see. I could see them doing that entirely. That would be awesome. So our next theory actually also comes from Game Rant's little articles where they talk about some Redditor theories, and this one I thought was kind of fun too. This one comes from Redditor at New Retro Mage, and his theory is, taking a cue from how Saw X worked, I'd like to see Scream 7 be set between Scream 4 and 5. So Dewey is alive, and we get to see Sidney's final exchange from already a survivor from 4 to the Ghostface hunter she was in 5. And then a fan continued on from there, saying, make it about how the new Ghostface doesn't initially target Sidney, but changes goals along the way. And make it so that Dewey and Gel go to help Sid and end up divorcing. So we see how they broke up and why Dewey was in such a mess during 5. Now, this one I don't think is going to happen at all. In fact, I think we can pretty much say that this one will not be the way that they choose to go. However, let's say that the next movie is successful and they kill Sidney Prescott. Let's say they actually end up killing Sidney Prescott. You remember that the Saw movies taking place in between the Saw movies is not something that hurt it at all. I think that would actually work out pretty cool, because then it could allow us to bring back dead characters. It could allow us to actually see some things we didn't get to see before. I think that would be a fun way to go, but not with this movie, not with this one. But that is something they could think about down the line. It did work out very well for Saw, even though we're not getting another Saw movie anytime soon, because that's apparently not something that's going to happen anymore. I still think it's a cool concept that they could do. I like this a lot. And thinking about it logically, it would work so well if they did it this way. Actually allowing them to do a Ghostface movie that's set in between several of the other movies works very well for these movies. It's something that could potentially lead to more movies, more characters, and more fun for the audience. And that's what it's all about. If the audience is going to be able to have a lot of fun with it, then I think I'm 1,000% down for it as well. And I personally love the Ghostface killer idea, so having multiple movies where we get to explore different people behind the mask is something that works. It's always worked for the franchise, and I don't think it gets old. Now, of course, we don't know what Roman was doing before the events of Scream 3 or anything like that, but I don't think a lot of things really need to be explored. I think that when they're doing something like this, taking a little bit at a time is something that's a good thing. But if they go too much into the in-between movies in any franchise, I believe it's going to hurt that franchise. And the Scream franchise is no different. Actually, having the Scream franchise work the way it does, it works for a reason. And it works for the reason that you never know who Ghostface is. And anytime you're putting somebody in a mystery like that, I think there is potential to have a good saga. I like the idea that they move forward and don't move in between movies by the same token. So if you're actually moving in between the movies, that can also hurt the franchise. Not to say that I think that's the case here. They are potentially going to do the Kirby television series, and that could actually take place in between different movies as well. Maybe she's been exploring some of the Ghostface killers in between the movies that we've actually seen. That would be awesome. But that is, of course, where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. Are you thinking any of these theories make a lot of sense? Do you like these theories? Do you hate them? What are some of your theories as to how the Scream 7 plot should go, or even future Scream movies? As always, we want to hear from you. Make sure you are leaving us a comment in the comment box below. Make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation that we're having. And then don't forget to hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. And then make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.